Well, it's been a month or a little more since Leo XIV ascended to the papal throne. I thought it was as good a time as any to share some of my initial thoughts on the matter. I'll do it as I harvest my garlic, if you don't mind. Well, my initial, immediate impression was, I don't mind confessing, was a slight tremor of unease at the prospect. I didn't know very much about the man. In fact, the only thing I did know about Cardinal Robert Prevost was his public argument over the internet, his argument with Vice President Vance over the applicability of Ordo Amoris to justifying new American immigration policy. Uh, the tremor of unease came about because I happen to think that Vice President J.D. Vance was applying the principle correctly. But that tremor, a little dis-ease, didn't have much of a chance to bloom into full foreboding. One, because of his choice of name, Leo XIV. I found that immediately uh, edifying. And him coming out onto the loggia in full regalia, that did the heart good, I must say. So, what the misgivings died, they were stillborn, and I decided to just wait out and see what he would say and do in the coming weeks and months before I formed a full first impression. And I'm happy to report that since then, everything he has said and done thus far just fills me with great optimism for his pontificate, for the church in general, and the church in America in particular. I am hopeful that he will not make too much of an issue over over the Trump's administration immigration policy, because after all, every nation has a right to defend its borders, something that any pope who lives behind walls himself and whose Vatican state enforces its own immigration laws rather zealously, I think that's something that any pope would understand. Because if he decides to make an issue of it, I think he risks squandering the goodwill that he will have with as pro-life a president as we've ever had. And not to mention that if all goes well, Trump will be succeeded by Vance, and a Catholic American president with an American pope. Well, I don't think we can imagine the extent of what good they would do to the country and the world at large. And there's also the opportunity for him to work with two Catholic American presidents if Rubio then goes on to succeed Vance. So, anyway, like I said, I don't think he's going to waste that opportunity. But besides American politics, well, one more thing on American politics. I think someone mentioned online, and I agree with the sentiment, that he has the potential to do for the church in America what uh, St. Pope John Paul II did for the Catholic Church in Poland. And that is something devoutly to be prayed for. So, like I said, everything he has said and done so far has given me reason to hope. Things in particular, his unequivocal defense of Catholic social teaching and doctrines, his forward-looking to the challenges that AI will meet us with in the near to far future. His distancing himself and basically kicking people like the artist Rupnik and his work out of the Vatican. His loving embrace of Latin. All these things, and give me reason to hope. And it seems to me, to borrow a phrase from the Lord of the Rings, our new Holy Father comes to us at the turning of the tide. And by that I allude to the recent spike of Christian converts, Catholic converts in particular. The National Reporter, the Catholic National Reporter suggested there's been a 30 to 70% uptick in Catholic conversions this past year. That's borne out at my own parish, which normally only has about 3 to 5 converts per year that come to us. This year, we had 16. And it's not just in the States. This spike in conversions to Catholicism is a worldwide phenomenon. It's been ongoing for decades in Africa, but now there are reports of the same throughout Europe and even some in Asia. So there seems to be something going on, and hopefully Pope Leo will ride that wave into the rebirth of the church, which once again so many people thought was as good as dead. And as Chesterton said, ours is the God who knows the way back from the grave. And no matter how often it seems that the church has died, Catholicism will rise again. Well, anyway, that's my view from the pew, as it were. Tell me, what do you think of our new Vicar of Christ? Do you think he's the godsend that he's shaping up to be? Or like the apostles, like the disciples of John, must we look to another? Anyway, I'll see you next time.